And we are back again. David, why don't you go ahead and introduce us, my friend?
Welcome back, everybody. I feel like, Mike, it's been so long since we jumped on, which
It's been a minute.
is like it feels like it's just been so long, or shit has just been going by so fast. But everybody,
Right.
welcome back to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. I'm your host, David. This is the other host, Mike. What's up, sir?
Hey, we have fucking football. Woo!
We have football. Week 1 is in the books.
Yes, sir. And what a week it was, dude. Some wild upsets. I mean,
Absolutely.
like some crazy stuff nobody was really expecting. So, and without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. So,
Yes,
off
sir.
the top of your head, sir, what was the number one craziest game that you witnessed this weekend?
Ooh, so the one that I actually caught was the Steelers and the Giants, because as we predicted, I thought the Steelers was just going to run away with it at first, right? And so after watching a couple quarters, I'm just like, wait a minute. New York has been hanging in this just way too long. I'm like, something's wrong, something's up. You know, I'm pretty sure Kyle, like, I wanted to be like, hey, Kyle, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Call Mike Tomlin, get your shit together, tell Big Ben he need to go back watching porn or something. I mean, he got to fucking play better. But as the game went on, of course, you know, they start to edge him out. Dude, Danny Dimes, kill that name. That dude is shit. I mean, sorry, New York fans.
Don't apologize.
They've been
a bunch of jealous cunts for the last 8 months. Fuck them.
The only thing you have going for you is Saquon Barkley, and that is it. I mean,
and even he was garbage
about it.
I single-handedly won my fantasy league, not ours, but another one that I'm in, a keeper league. I single-handedly won it because of the terrible week that Saquon Barkley had.
Shit, man, it's terrible. Yeah, but that was the game I saw, and that was the crazy one that I watched. Of course, I think I had Tampa Bay to beat the Saints. Of course, that didn't happen the way that I thought it would.
Yeah, that was a big shocker of the week.
Of course, we knew. I had Dallas pick to beat LA. Dallas couldn't pull it off, but hey, fuck it. I don't care if Dallas wins or lose.
Yeah, we all did. I think we all did for that point, just for a simple fact that there's no excuse at this point. If you're giving your money to Jerry Jones as a Cowboys fan, you get what you deserve. If you're lining his pockets, this is what you're getting in return, all right? And to sit here and single-handedly suggest that guy won 5 Super Bowls or 3 Super Bowls, whatever the hell it was back in the early 90s, that's a complete farce. That team was established. He brought somebody in who had their shit together. They got that team to win. And then as soon as that guy said, I've had enough of Jerry Jones and his fucking ridiculous Al Davis mentality, they've stunk. Not just been bad. They fucking sucked for over 2 decades, 25 years, bro. So if you're going to sit here and keep peddling money into this dude's back pocket and then expect a different result at this point, you fucking get what you deserve, because that was pathetic. Sunday night was embarrassing.
Absolutely. You know, I got a saying for Dallas, stacked roster, mediocre season.
Yeah.
That's literally how it is. Stacked roster, but you're going to get a mediocre season. I mean, like, straight up. Like, you're not going deep into the playoffs. You're not making it to the Super Bowl. Stop fooling yourselves. Stop giving your money to Jerry Jones. You know, save that shit. You know, put it towards your kids' college tuition. You know, take your family out or something like that. But, you know, stop giving your money to Jerry Jones until they start fucking winning some games and start winning some championships. Because I get sick and tired of hearing it every year. And I live in Arkansas. Dallas is the closest NFL team that we have, and I just get so sick and tired of hearing it every year. And I'm just like, hey, dummies, stack roster, but mediocre season. I mean, come on now. This has been the same for years now. Like, when you gonna learn? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, you guys are pretty much subjected to this racist cunt until he finally fucking dies, or until you guys actually decide to stop paying him. I mean, dude.
I don't pay him shit. I mean,
dude, well, of course not. Fuck that guy. But, like, dude, think about it. In your heart of hearts, when was the last time you can recall that he ever had any black offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, head coach
Right.
When has he ever? I'm sorry, not even just black, minority in general. Like you had Bieniemy on the board coming into the season. You had Robert Saleh, and you overlooked him for that fat fuck who literally has been out of football for a year for a reason.
Yeah.
Not only did he not learn anything in that entire year that he was proclaiming he did, that guy didn't lose a fucking pound. That is still a fat motherfucker. That is an unmotivated, lazy asshole who rides other people's coattails.
He ate all the Wisconsin cheese. He ate all the Wisconsin cheese. No, bro, but you took the words straight out of my mouth. Bieniemy, besides the fact that you have that star on your helmet, I mean, let's face it, all the notoriety that you get with being associated with the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, come on, man. You could have got somebody way better than McCarthy. I mean, so you telling me McCarthy is the best fucking thing that you could have got? I mean, come on, man. Dude, imagine Bieniemy with that offense. Dude, it would have been fucking killer. Yeah, absolutely.
We would have just chalked him up to a Super Bowl contender right now. It would have been potential Kansas City at this point in time. Not even guaranteed Kansas City. Like, that's how crucial he is as an offensive coordinator with them and how much he's learned underneath the Walrus. So, as opposed to McCarthy, who literally had and I'll go on the record to say I think Aaron Rodgers, he's probably the most talented quarterback of all time. I wouldn't say that he's not the most successful. That hands down.
Yeah, he's one of the most, yeah.
But I would say he's the most talented quarterback of all time. The only other one I would argue against that would be Russell Wilson, just because of all the dynamicism that guy's brought to the board. But he rode that guy's coattails for years, won one Super Bowl, and it was literally it's been a fucking travesty the entire duration of time that he was with that team. Never did anything to help Rodgers out. Never really bolstered up the offensive line except for a left tackle, and then occasionally every 3 or 4 years they would cycle out maybe a first-round guard or something, but never gave him any wide receivers, nothing. So, yeah, dude, McCarthy's been a fucking joke for years, and it shined on Saturday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, dude. It's shown through just how inept that entire offensive coaching is.
Yeah. Yeah, and dude, I hate the fucking lead up to the game is all the stars in Hollywood, you got the LA Rams, you got the Dallas Cowboys. That's what you get. That's what you get. You got a fucking piss poor shit game. Fuck all the stars. I mean, dude, Harvey Weinstein, dude, he could have put together fucking better production than that bullshit.
Right. And with less rape.
That's what happened. That's what happened. Dallas Cowboys fans, you got raped that night. It didn't go the way you thought it was. So fuck out of here.
I don't know about you, dude, but I turned that game. First off, I was already at hockey for most of the game, anyways. Then I came back and I was watching it, and just watching how anemic that offense was. I was like, you know what? We'll go ahead and turn this off. I think sleep is more important to me at this point in time.
Yeah.
So, but all right, guys, well, sidetracking enough attention to that Clown Shoes team. So mine for the week is going to be kind of a wild one. Mine is the Colts versus the Jaguars.
Okay, talk about it. Preach on it.
So I just want to come down from the heavens, sir, and talk about the main man who has come back and risen from the grave to talk about not being tanking for Trevor for next season, and his name is Gardner Minshew. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for Minshew Mania, because we need that little southern bastard more than life itself.
We need that fucking Tiger King more than anything.
Bro, 19 of 20 for passing. I mean, his yards weren't the greatest, but his offense isn't the greatest either, and that's not his fault. They've really – I mean, they've strapped this guy, and he still he continues to show up every week. Guy had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. I mean, give me a break, bro. He's just basically got DJ Chark to throw out and a busted Laviska Shenault, because I'm sure Chenault's still got some sort of lingering injuries. He generally does.
Right.
And I'm not discrediting him. Chenault's an outstanding player. We loved him with the Buffaloes, but, I mean, they beat the crap out of the guy. So he was their entire offense.
So is it me, or does it feel like Minshew is like a better version of Ryan Tannehill. Because remember, Tannehill would give you similar stats. Tannehill would go for 20 of 20, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he was pretty consistent at that. So does it feel like to me that Gardner Minshew is like a better version of of Tannehill?
Yeah, but that's like saying he's a lesser version of Russell Wilson. I mean, you get right down to it.
Yeah.
I think they're completely different players, personally. Tannehill is taller. He's more of a pocket passer. He can move when he wants to. But I would say Minshew is his own unique breed, dude, all across the board. I mean, he can rush when need be. His pocket presence is fantastic, dude. And the other thing about it is all the backstory from this guy. Like, if you were to look at it from a psychological standpoint, the guy's a complete psycho. But when you look at it from an athlete, that guy's a fucking champ, dude. That's a man who wants to win, and that's a man who wants to lead his team to victory. So I respect every aspect of that dude. Like I said, they basically tied at least one of his arms behind his back this year, and he's still proven that he can throw without it. So I was really impressed. Phillip Rivers was his normal garbage time points. He was 36 for 46. 363 yards, which means jack and shit when you're 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions. So
terrible. And then their starting running back Marlon Mack, he got hurt, right?
You got it.
So they kind of, and I fucked around and drafted him. So it looks like I'm shit for that, and I need to swap somebody else.
Don't feel bad, dude. Mecole Hardman completely bombed for us this week. We knew the Chiefs are what they are. We knew what they were going to be.
Right.
How about the other major surprise? We've already addressed the team. We just haven't addressed this week about them, and I'm going to go with the Packers to the Vikings. I thought that was a really interesting game. Not for the Vikings. I thought they were pathetic, but we're really blessed for the fact Kirk Cousins decided to take Minnesota over Colorado.
Absolutely.
What were your thoughts on that game? Did you catch any of the recap at all or no?
No, I didn't catch any of the recap. I just saw highlights and stuff on my phone. I'm assuming it was Kirk Cousins is usual. Overhyped, overpaid, and none of the performance.
He was garbage, dude.
That sounds about right. Right.
He was.
That's what you get for Kirk Cousins.
You had Kubiak trying to make the best out of a terrible quarterback situation, same as he did with Joe Flacco, the same as he did with Brock Osweiler, and the same as he did with a busted up Peyton Manning. So the problem with it is Kirk Cousins, they just paid this guy an outrageous extension, and then this was their return. 19 for 25, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. And those are all junk time yards, ladies and gentlemen, because they were terrible. Whereas the person they were throwing against has no wide receivers whatsoever other than one guy that you got to cover. And the defense is way better. And the defense is way better for Minnesota. And that individual was 32 for 44, 364 yards, 4 TDs to 0 interceptions.
Ooh. And Roger had a hell of a night.
I have to eat my balls if this guy ends up being the fantasy dream come true of the season. Because, I mean, he hasn't been one for like 2 years. So if he's playing MVP lights out for the year, I mean, we're already going to just, like I said, eat our balls on that one. So
yeah, a pissed off Aaron Rodgers is a scary Aaron Rodgers.
Right, and especially if the guy, if he's on and he doesn't have a broken clavicle, he's brutal.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you want to discuss the big game of the weekend that everybody was addressing? Buccaneers versus the Saints.
Yeah, so let's get into that. Tom Brady with a different team, all the hype around that. You got Gronk coming back, and I really don't know what to make of it, man. I think a lot of people, I saw a lot of offenses. I'm pretty sure they were hampered by not having the live reps, not having the live bullets thrown at them. And that may, it may be some timing issues. And then you didn't have, Evans in there and stuff like that. So, maybe, I don't want to call the whole Tom Brady thing to Tampa. I mean, it's too early to call it, so I don't want anybody, Tom Brady can't do without Belichick and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. No, it's way too early because if Tom Brady, if you know his past, his history, they always start off slow. But then they kill you when it matters most, when it gets late in the season, so Tom Brady could be bringing that same little swagger back. Hey, the first 2 games may be a little bit rocky, but when it matters most, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to eat you up. So.
Perfect, dude. I couldn't have given a better analysis. It reminds me of that old NBA Jam game, the old Sega one. He's heating up. He's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
But he started out fucking ice cold for that first game, dude. That was brutal. A pick 6, 2 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6 was pretty. Mm-hmm. That's Jameis Winston territory for that team, and I'm sure when they watch.
Don't say it. It's Jameis Winston.
Well, I mean, you look at it, bro. I mean, his yards were less than Winston's, but at the same time, they're comparable stats. That was a good start. So
yeah. But I think everybody hold off on that panic button. Like I say, we already know this has been going on for the last 10-something years, man. They always start off slow. They may lose the first, they may go 2-3, and then everybody like, oh, the Patriots are, they're on the decline. And then again, they kill you when it matters most. Tom Brady, he's been doing this. So like, I'm not ready to push the panic button. Yeah, I'm not willing to say, hey, Bill Belichick was right just yet, even though Cam did look kind of good up there, kind of.
That'll be the next subject we touch on.
Okay.
I think that's a good follow-up. In the meantime, how did you feel about Drew Brees in that game, dude?
Well, I didn't watch it. So, I mean, I caught highlights. So, I really don't know. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent about it. Really.
So here's the stats. He was 18 for 30, 160 yards to 2 touchdowns.
I mean, it felt like he just kind of got by.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I mean, with that stat line, you just got by. Do I think the Saints are going to make some deep run into the playoffs?
No, they're done,
I don't
dude.
think so. No.
I think, unfortunately, that dynasty for them, they have the defense, and they're definitely well, I would say they're a hype team at this point, especially after beating the Bucs this week. I just don't see it, dude. I really don't. There's nothing that's just absolutely neck-breaking about their defense. I mean, the one thing they've got going for them is continuity. Most of those guys have been playing together for a while.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Did the Saints beat the Bucs, or did the Bucs make so many errors with, Tom Brady throwing the pick 6, different things like that? Is that why they won the game? Is that why? Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. Well, I mean, it's similar scenario, but different resolve as to how they got to the end point. Or different equation as to how they got to the resolve. When you look at the Cowboys versus the Rams as the Saints versus the Buccaneers, it's all the talent in the world, but somewhere it didn't mesh. But I think the Buccaneers defense is a better team. I think the Cowboys is a better team. I just think that, well, obviously the Buccaneers have a better chance of going further in the playoffs. So I think the Buccaneers beat themselves, man. I think it was one of those growing pains kind of weeks. They're still trying to get all the kinks worked out, but it's week 1, whatever.
Cool. Sounds good.
So let's go to that team up in Boston, my friend.
Boston. I got a terrible Boston accent.
Everybody does. So do people from Boston.
So do they. So, I was at work when the game was on, but of course I did catch highlights on my phone, and it looked like it was, I wouldn't say like, oh, Cam Newton is resurrected and, oh, he's going to be league MVP. No, I mean, I think he had a solid game. I mean, he had a couple rushing and a couple passing. So, I mean, he did what he, what more do you want from him in this situation? You got to understand, he's running Belichick's offense. Belichick, they did good playing to Cam Newton's strengths. A lot of people probably thought it was going to go reverse. A lot of people thought that Cam Newton is going to have to play Belichick's game. But Belichick, being the smart man he is, he was like, hey, this dude can take off running. He can score. He can score taking off running. So, I think he did a good job with that.
Yeah, I'm confident in stating that I don't think they'll be a 500 team this year.
When you get deeper, especially when you play against Denver with, Cam, you're not going to be able to take off running like that against our front line. So I'm just going to warn you now, motherfucker. You think you're going to come in with that bullshit, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
They played week 1 against Miami, and last year they played week 1 against Miami. It was 1 or 2, I can't remember. But they put up 50 points on them to 0. And this season it was 21-11, and Cam Newton's stat line was nothing impressive, like whatsoever.
Right.
So you had, first off, Gesicki was a no-show pretty much for the entire game. Devontae Parker got injured. His lingering hamstring that he had going on ended up causing him to leave at halftime. But in the meantime, he was already barbecuing Stephon Gilmore. And then as soon as he went out of the game, it just pretty much changed up the entire dynamics on offense, which justifiably so. I mean, the guy, when he's on, he's a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
So Fitzpatrick.
And not to mention that, you got to remember, Boston is missing how many of their starters?
7.
Because they opted out? 7. 7 starters because they opted out.
Yeah.
So could have been worse, because isn't Chung out too? Chung opted out as well.
Right.
Hightower opted out.
Yep.
So you're missing some key players.
Yeah, they don't have they traded Jamie Collins off last year, which
Yep.
Nobody will say it, but I mean, he was a pretty crucial part of that Super Bowl run they had the year before that. I mean, they didn't really do much in the Super Bowl, but they still won it. So
Bennett retired.
Yes, correct. And then
Bennett retired, yeah.
Was it Marcus Cannon? Marcus Cannon's not there anymore.
Yeah. I mean, so they're hurting, as far as, a lot of the starters, they're hurting. And, you squeak by a rebuilding franchise. So, as we get deeper into the season, it's gonna get a little rough on them, especially when they come to that mile high, baby.
Exactly. So Cam Newton was, so I'll read the stat line to you, and you tell me what you think. 15 of 19, 155 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 15 carries for 75 yards.
Who is he going to throw to? Edelman? That's the only thing he got. N'Keal Harry. Yeah.
Yep, Harry has still been the bust we thought he was, which stinks because Arizona State, you'd like to see them be a little bit more prosperous. The other Arizona State product they had for the 49ers this year, he wasn't even in the game. Yeah, he wasn't even in the game, was he? I think he was in.
Not that I know of. I didn't hear anything from him. Yeah, in which, Brandon, it's funny, man, how those guys, they've been injury prone. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ayuk is phenomenal. I think he's better than N'Keal Harry, but he's been battling. He's been battling injuries. That's just kind of how it rolls. But again, Cam Newton, he doesn't have anybody to throw to. I mean, he doesn't have any weapons. So again, I think me and Mike are on the same page with this one. As he get later on in the season, it's going to get a lot tougher for him.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I'm not discrediting a win. A win is a win. But I
take what you get.
Yeah, right, exactly. So let's go on to, you already addressed Pittsburgh. I think we need to finish off solid talking about our favorite team as well as who they played against.
Let's finish off solid. I don't know if this is finishing off solid. Denver Broncos, we did take the L.
It's a solid shit. That's for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes a solid shit is a good one. You know what I mean?
So let's go positives and negatives.
So I'm going to go negative. I'll let you go positive. So I went to sleep after the first half. I was just beat from the day. I just did so much. Caught the game. From the first half, what it looked like to me was there was a lot of timing issues on the offense. You had center quarterback exchange issues. You know, there was, I believe it was two fumbles between center exchange. Drew Lock was overthrowing some of his receivers. Again, it was a timing issue. On the defense, Von Miller's presence, I feel like it was extremely missed. Jeremiah Tachu did what he was supposed to do. You know, he gave you solid backup play. Now, let's go to the linebacker position. Just like I talked to Mike, I absolutely hate seeing Josey Jewell out there. I mean, Mike, you have a different opinion on this, but
no, I don't. I don't. For what it's worth,
I hate seeing Josey Jewell out there. That dude is so fucking unathletic. It's just like, what are we doing here? This is supposed to be a top 5 defense. And I'm just afraid. I mean, dude, we're not going to get there with, Josey Jewell playing the way he was, Von Miller being out. You had the safeties. This one was a rough one for Justin Simmons. It was, it wasn't his best showing. You got 2 rookies out there, and you have an undrafted rookie out there. So, I hate to be negative, but okay, let me give a positive, okay? Let me give a positive, then I'm going to turn it over to Mike. I commend Pat Shurmur for finally using our running backs the correct way. I've been saying this all off season. They brought Melvin Gordon in there for a reason, okay? They brought him in there for a reason, okay? The way that they're running the running backs is how this correctly should be ran, and that's what Rich Scangarello failed to do. Philip Lindsay should be your change of pace running back. You put him in there, he would give you big splash plays. But as far as your bell cow, it should be Melvin Gordon, and I think he proved why they brought him in.
Agreed. And now, unfortunately, he's got a nagging injury, dude.
He always got a nagging injury, damn it. And he fumbled the ball.
Well, no, that was Gordon. Hey, that was Gordon.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
so I see what you're saying. Philip Lindsay has the lingering issue. Okay,
the nagging one now.
Yeah, got you on that one.
Melvin Gordon was resilient.
Shit. Yeah, Melvin Gordon, leave that fumbling in L.A., okay? Don't bring it to Denver because he was notorious for fumbling in L.A. Don't bring it here.
Consistently, dude. I don't know what it is with Denver and picking up Wisconsin running backs, bro. I don't get it. Like, I mean, the last one that we had, the guy's in jail right now. So
Moneyball.
Yeah.
Moneyball.
I don't understand it, man. But to not discredit Melvin Gordon, man, he was phenomenal when he just took over as the mainstead running back for that offense. I'd say the major, and I don't want to go on a negative tangent, but the major issue that we had was the offensive play calling, dude, the second half. The first half.
Talk about it.
They were putting drives together, man. Noah Fant, he had 87 yards in the first half, dude. He looked exactly like how we expected him to last year and how he performed. Not just expected. He met those expectations and exceeded them. We were jazzed about it. He's a beast. I think Jerry Jeudy, the guy he's scary. That is a scary man, dude. Watching
Once he gets
him
comfortable, yeah.
Did you see in the first half that catch he had where he broke out on who was that ex-LSU safety that they just drafted Tennessee? Christian Fulton, dude. He basically destroyed that guy. He came in at a 4.40 sprint to a dead stop and did a blaze out route and caught a ball and then took it in between. Tim Patrick had to get skinny in the midst of it. He had to stand up and put his arms down to avoid having to do a block in the back as Jerry Jeudy snuck in behind him for an extra 10 yards. because of just how weaselly that guy is in open field, dude. I gotta be honest, David. I've never been more jazzed about a wide receiver in my life.
Dude, we are seeing the talk about his route running, in which we've been talking about this all offseason. Right. The videos of him just practicing his route running is phenomenal. Some of the best footwork I've seen. The dude is phenomenal. And, yes, he was definitely a bright spot. You hit on it, Noah Fant. Noah Fant is, he's picking up where he left off last year. He had a very good showing for week 1.
Yeah, I'm not gonna build and then drop the team, dude. I honestly think you impressed upon the only concern that I had, which was the inside linebacker, as well as I guess 2 of them. I don't think Justin Simmons had a very good game either, but it's whatever. Everybody has their faults. Dude, I think this team's got promise, man. I was really impressed. You got Mark Barron playing next week against his former team. That'll be cool seeing him at inside linebacker. So he's on the roster now. I'm going to guess most likely if you and I saw this being just armchair quarterbacks, Vic Fangio and Ed Donatel realized that Josie Jewell, he didn't really make the trade.
Well, I think this upcoming week, you're going to see a lot of changes, okay? So this was the first time that we actually had live bullets thrown at us. So this right here, you will see a lot of corrections, okay? So let's talk about the right tackle situation. Elijah Wilkins.
Oh, that was tough, too.
Everybody, let's face it. This guy is not a right tackle.
Yeah.
So start forcing him to be that. Let's put that to bed. Let's kill this. Shoot that horse right between the fucking eyes. Put him out. The dude is not a right tackle. So stop putting him in there. He just got abused. So this week, I think you will see DeMar out there right tackle. You got Mark Barron out there. We don't want to see Josie Jewell out there no more. Get him the fuck out of here. Put him on. Hey, make him a special team captain or something. Yes, I know he's smart. I know he probably knows the plays better than any other fucking linebacker you got. But damn, I just hate seeing him out there. So let's talk about the quarterback situation. AJ Bouye. He's out for a couple weeks. No, he's placed on IR, correct?
Yeah, which is a couple weeks now. It's only 3 weeks. So, but
yeah,
it wasn't anything extravagant, dude. It was just a separated shoulder. I'm cool. You take a few weeks off, man. Do what you got to do. Get your recovery in.
Get your body right. So Bosby has been promoted up, and then I felt like the young guys played pretty well.
They played insane.
The young guys.
We've already been amping up the Sang Bassi this offseason. He answered the bell. And then Michael Ejimudia, I exactly get why they drafted that dude in the 3rd round. I was super impressed with him, man. And when you sit there and you watch the game film, that interception was clean. There's no argument.
Mm-hmm.
That was a clean interception. He got robbed out of it. But he was a lockdown corner as a rookie nobody from Iowa. So, yeah, dude, Draymond – how about Draymond Jones again, dude?
Dude, Draymond has a lot of promise. He has a lot of promise. I really like Draymond Jones. And, next year, you won't see Shelby Harris next year. It'll be Draymond Jones. He'll be starting it off. Just go ahead and just get ready for it now.
Yeah, they're priming the guy up for a reason because he's not even the tallest guy on the D-line, but the way that he moves, it's almost like imperialistic, dude. It really is. He just pushes people out of he can stand straight up and still just move people out of the way. He's not the biggest guy there, but I don't know, man. There's not really any comfortable way to describe it without sounding like I'm trying to have sex with the dude. So I'm impressed with the physics of how that guy operates, man. And I like I said, dude, we've been really blessed as Broncos fans. I can't think any time in the last 30 plus years we've ever had the first overall pick. Even Von Miller was second. So we've had our ups and downs. But I'm really impressed with this team, dude. I think we're not Super Bowl bound. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, for a young group, let's talk about Drew Lock and how he played as opposed to Ryan Tannehill, dude. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was impressed. I was super. Yet again, I was impressed. He's not gonna get the credit he deserves. I don't feel as watching the game that's his fault. I feel it entirely rides upon the offensive coordinator for not giving the guy the opportunity to throw the ball down the field more. Dude, in the second half, he had you and I were talking about this off camera. The guy had 4 shots down the field in the second half. There was 2 drops that happened. That's not his fault. 3 drops that happened. It's not his fault. But at the same time, you've got a guy that's naturally probably the top 5 most arm talent quarterback in the NFL right now. And you're not going to let him throw the football deep like you did in the first half when you were just mulching the Titans. I don't understand that, man.
Right. I was impressed by the way Drew Lock played. I think he showed a lot of poise. I think he showed a lot of confidence, and I think he showed a lot of leadership. None of that, I'm checking my armband and all the other bullshit like he did last year. No, he knew the plays.
Right.
He was prepared, and he was a leader out there. But, guys, let's be honest here, okay? 14 points ain't going to get us nowhere, okay? Straight up. We are going to get trounced by fucking Kansas City, only putting up 14 points. We got it. Hey, Pat, you got to step up here. I mean, we can't have this 14 points. I mean, dude, that's taking us back to Case Keenum. That's taking us back to Trevor Siemian. No, like 14. I mean, come on now. For how many years have our average point per game was like 17 points?
Dude, how much did your heart hurt when they were introducing the game? And you know how they always do for that? They'll talk about the
since
quarterback.
2011, we've had like 6 quarterbacks.
The quarterback carousel. Oh,
yeah.
And they just sit there showing them going up and down that pipe, dude. And it's like, hey, right.
Stop playing us like that. But we finally found our one. Yes, we finally found our one. But again, guys, we got to remember, 14 points a game is not going to beat nobody. Like straight up, especially in our division. If we can't put up 14 points, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough season if we don't put up more than that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And but the like I said, from an optimistic standpoint, dude, I think we've got a quarterback now who's competent and capable. And we knew the defense, it was what it was last year. We knew that it was top 10, top 5 defense, and it still is this year. When you look at how many times Gostkowski had to kick the football, even when the ineptitude of the offense was just shining through again because they weren't allowing them to get into the end zone. So I believe in Fangio. I believe in Donatell. Let's get off the train of fire Fangio, ladies and gentlemen. If you're on that train right now, you apparently haven't been through the last 5 years that we've had to deal with.
You're the worst. Like, for all those people, for all those people that are calling for Big Fangio to be fired, Trey Von Miller, and fire John Elway, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of you motherfuckers out there, and y'all already started. Hey, go jump off a bridge. Everybody hold hands and jump together because you're a bunch of dickheads.
But make sure you guys jump off a bridge with no water underneath you, so that way there's no concerns about no cushions. Yeah. So
no cushion, all rocks, baby.
Right, exactly. And make sure you do a beautiful swan dive that we can give a 10 out of 10 to. So
his brains to the deer.
Put the fucking signs up. All right, folks. Well, I think I hope you guys enjoyed it. We did it, dude. We're back. Football's back, baby. I don't know how to get. Baby. I can't get more excited, dude. There's a Cleveland-Cincinnati game tomorrow, and I'm jazzed about that. So Joe Burrow looked pretty promising in his first start too.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
He almost beat the Chargers.
Who's going to upset Ohio State for the number 1 team in Ohio? Which one? Who's it going to be? Who's going to upset Ohio State?
Iowa.
Is it going to be Cleveland or is it going to be Cincinnati?
It's going to be
Which one?
It's going to be Michigan State.
I don't know about that.
Oh, for the NFL.
Dickhead. That's the number one team in Ohio State. So who's going to come out number one? Is it going to be Cincinnati? Is it going to be Cleveland?
I don't think either one of those teams could beat Ohio State.
Hey, you think we joking? You think we joking? Ohio State show up.
Joe Burrow couldn't beat Ohio State.
he got ran out of town. Shit. He had to go down to Louisiana. You talking about a sad ride? Sad ride on the fucking Greyhound in Louisiana? How many quarterbacks did he get beat out by?
Draymond Jones.
Shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the laugh before we go. Hey, stay tuned to more episodes of the Uncommon Man podcast. It's been a pleasure talking to y'all tonight. We're back on regular schedule, and just be looking out for more content.
Enjoy, guys. Yeah, we're trying to figure out this whole electronics BS right now. So once I can figure out what the hell RSS feed means, we're gonna have you guys up and live on Spotify and Apple Podcast, just so that way we can expand our boundaries. You guys can enjoy this on multiple platforms. But in the meantime, make sure you like, subscribe. That's going to be down here over in this section, and help us out, expand out, reach out to us on Twitter. That will also be down there in the information box. Enjoy, guys. Have a great night, and we will catch you on the flip side.